Hey YouTube, I got asked in another video about what's the best way to transition from a cut to a bulk and a bulk to a cut. So let's talk about both of those. There's really two ways to approach this. I'm not an expert, however, I've done this a couple of times, and if you're watching my video, you kind of want to know what my opinion is. So there's two different ways to do it. There is going from a bulk down to a cut, or vice versa, whatever that happens to be. Let's say you're bulking on 3,500 calories a week, and you're making consistent progress, and you want to start cutting. Well, you don't want to just go from 3,500 calories down to 2,500 calories. That's too much of a dump to your metabolism. That's a 1,000 calorie deficit. Your metabolism is going to get all wonky, right? The other thing too is you don't really know 100% where you need to be cutting on, because that 3,500 calories doesn't mean automatically 2,500 calories is going to be where you're cutting at. So the first way you can do it is by going down to your maintenance calories, which generally speaking is going to be, if you're on a lean bulk versus a larger bulk with a 500 calorie deficit versus say like a 250 calorie deficit. Let's imagine that your maintenance is 3,000 calories and you're bulking on 3,500. What you're going to want to do is eat at maintenance for a couple of weeks and see what your body does. You're going to probably lose a little bit of weight, you're going to pee out a lot of water, and you're going to go from 3,500 and you're going to eat at maintenance for probably 2 weeks, we'll call it. Depends on how your body reacts. You might need longer, right? But you're gonna eat about 3,000 calories for 2 weeks. See how your body reacts. Once your weight is stabilized and you've got 2 weeks of consistent weight where you're not fluctuating all over the place, that first week might be a little bit wonky, right? But you got 2 weeks where you're not losing weight. Okay, that's gonna be about your maintenance. And your body's gonna kind of adjust to that. Next 2 weeks after that, you can start cutting a few calories, right? Maybe you go on a lean cut, right? You're gonna drop 250 calories. Maybe you want to cut a little bit more aggressively because you got a little bit more fat to lose, so you're going to cut 500 calories. So now, for the first 2 weeks, maintenance at 3,000, and the next 2 weeks, you're going to cut at 2,500 or 2,750. That's one way to approach going from a bulk to a cut. Going from a cut to a bulk, same thing. Eating at 2,500 calories for, say, a more aggressive cut. Eat at 2 weeks for your at maintenance for your bulk, right? Oh, sorry, eat at maintenance transitioning to your bulk. You're going to be at 3,000. Once your weight fluctuates and just sits and you're not gaining weight at that, and that's your maintenance, then add 250 or 500 depending on when you want to do a lean or a heavier bulk, right? So easy back and forth. That's the first method you could do. You don't want to dump too hard. You kind of want to hit that maintenance, make sure like, okay, that is my maintenance and my body's kind of adjusted to that calorie level, and then cut or bulk, whatever you want to do. The next method you can do is doing it a little bit slower and allowing your metabolism to adjust a little bit quicker. So what you can do is we're going to go from a bulk to a cut this time. So you're eating at 3,500 calories and you know that your maintenance is around 3,000. If you aren't in a rush to cut, what you can try doing is you can cut 100 to 250 calories off of that. Say you go down to 3,250 and eat at that for 2 weeks, and you might gain a little bit of weight, but you're not going to gain a ton because you're cutting calories. And see how your weight does, right? Then cut another 250 calories or maybe 100 calories, depending on how you want to play your metabolism, until you reach about maintenance. All right, and each time you do this, you're kind of be going a week to 2 week at a time in increments, just to allow your body's metabolism to go, okay, I'm working with less this week. Okay, I'm working with a little bit less this week as well. Then once you hit maintenance, or what you perceive to be your maintenance, eat at that for a couple weeks and make sure that the scale's not going all over the place, right? Then, when you want to transition down to a cut, same thing. Cut 100 calories or 250 calories, depending on if you want to lean or aggressively cut. Depending on if you got a lot of fat to go, you might want to try cutting 100 calories, just see how your body reacts, right? And then your body's going to go, oh, all right, now I got a little bit less calories this time. And then you cut the next week, and the next week, and the next week, until you start losing the desired amount of desired amount of weight. Depending on how heavy you are, I've done a video on this before. 1 pound a week can be a good goal to aim for. For a more aggressive cut if you're a really heavier person, but when you're leaner, half a pound a week to preserve that muscle that you've so bloody hard worked for can be a better approach as well. So the two methods are kind of taking it big swaths at a time, like 3,500 down to 500, 500 down to 2,500, but giving yourself at least 2 weeks of eating at maintenance so that you can kind of balance out your metabolism and make sure that that is in fact maintenance and that your body's not doing all kinds of wonky things. The other approach, going to and from bulks and cuts, is to cut smaller amounts, and it's just going to take you a little while longer, but it gives your body a little bit more time to adjust to the change. This is not for obviously competitors. If you're going from bulks to cuts and whatnot, you probably got a coach, but this is a good approach My preferred method is to actually do the eating slightly less every single time you transition. So 1 week I'll dump 100 calories, next week I'll dump 100 calories, so on and so forth till I hit my maintenance. But I do lean bulks now, so I'm only at 250 calories above my maintenance anyways. So it only takes me a couple weeks to reach maintenance. I do 2 weeks at maintenance, and then when I cut, I dump down for another 2 weeks, right? So those are the two approaches that you can do to go from a cut to a bulk. That I know of that are quite effective. There are 1,000 different ways to do it, but just make sure you're not too aggressive either way. If you're too aggressive on the cut, there's the chance that your body's going to go, oh, I need calories right now, and it's going to go after your lean body mass and muscle, which is not what you want, right? You want to encourage your body to burn fat. You want to trick your body into burning fat, especially if you want to go below single-digit body fat. Right? It doesn't want to get rid of this. It wants to hold on to as much of this as it can, because at our core, we're still Neanderthals, and we're using that genetics from the hunter-gatherer times, right? So it's thinking, lean times are coming, I got to hold on to some body fat. So you have to trick it into losing the body fat. And then when you're going from a cut to a bulk, same thing. We're barbarians. We're Neanderthals underneath all this stuff. So if you all of a sudden add 1,000 calories from a cut to a bulk, your body's going to go, oh, all right, it's not lean times anymore. I should pack on some fat for the next time it's lean times, and then you might put on fat too fast, right? That's it, guys. Hope this answers the person's question. I did already answer the questions in the comments, but I thought it'd make a good video. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. You tell me. That's it. As always, questions and comments down below. And as always, guys, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.